Forget the rough and rugged look and all the rough look. As I told you guys, when ever I got my date, I would let you guys know. So I go in for pre-op on May 26th, and I have my operation on June 8th for core decompression for avascular necrosis in my hip. I have avascular necrosis, or AVN, in both hips. I went in complaining of AVN. Well, not complaining of AVN. I went in complaining thinking that I had a groin tear in my right hip. No, I'm sorry, my right side. I thought I had torn my groin, and was later diagnosed with avascular necrosis. If you don't know my backstory, you can go back and watch the videos. But essentially, I have Still's disease, or AOSD, whatever you want to call it, but I have Still's disease. Got diagnosed back in 2017, and got diagnosed in 2017 with Still's disease. Got put on a heavy regimen of prednisone and methotrexate, and went into, I guess, what you call remission for AOSD. In 2019, I took my last prednisone in 18, and I took my last dose of methotrexate in 19, sometime in 19, like early 19, I think. In early 2019, I took my last dose of methotrexate, and from that point on, I haven't had an episode since. Had minor things, blood work come back a little bit, high, but nothing to the point where I had to get back on prednisone or take medicine again. So fast forward to late 19, I started feeling this pain in my hip. Like I said in the previous video, I had pain in my hip to where it felt like, man, I'd be running, chasing my kids, playing around, and I just hit the floor like something just locked up in my hip or something. Like I couldn't tell what it was. So I thought it was like maybe I tore my groin or something. Never torn my groin before, so I just figured that's what it was, because that's where the pain seemed prevalent at. So I dealt with that for a little while. I'm trying to be fast and not go through it all over again, because I detailed everything in the previous video. So yeah, I go through, feel all that pain. I go to the doctor. The doctor basically is like, "Oh, we'll wait to see what's going on." Blah 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 blah. So we wait. I go back and complain maybe a few months later, and I go back and complain sometime in 2020. I go back and complain. I get referred over to physical therapy. I do my physical therapy appointments and things of that sort. And when I go back after my first round of physical therapy, I speak to the physical therapist, the head physical therapist. And she tells me she's going to put me in for an x-ray and another round of physical therapy. I go to the x-ray, and no longer than 15 minutes after I leave the x-ray, she calls me and she tells me like, "Hey, stop physical therapy. We're not going to do it anymore. I got to put you in for an emergency referral to ortho." I don't know what's wrong. I'm thinking something's wrong. She was like, "Oh, we found spots on your hip, but it's probably just in relation to your, the fact that you have Still's disease." I'm like, okay, whatever. I do my research, figure everything, try to figure out what's going on. Made the mistake of going to WebMD, and everything was showing for like bone cancer and all of this stuff. So I'm all nervous, and the bad thing about it was I started vacation right after my x-ray. So she tells me they found white spots on my hip and all of this stuff in the x-ray. So much to the point to where I'm like nervous, and I'm researching this stuff. And so I get on a flight to Vegas, and I get a call from the hospital to schedule my appointment. The call comes from the, I forget the other word for cancer. I think it's I forget the other word. But it's another word for like cancer specialty. I'm searching it right now on my computer. Oncology. So I get a phone call, and the department of the hospital that the phone call comes from is oncology. So I'm thinking I have cancer, but luckily, the oncology department, I guess either they changed the directory numbers and they just didn't update it online, whatever the case may be, it wound up being ortho. So a different part of ortho, but ortho nonetheless. It was specialty ortho, not just regular sports medicine. So I go there. He tells me I have AVN, avascular necrosis, and while typically, it's hard to tell where it comes from, given my history, that it's pretty easy to figure that it came from the extended prednisone use, extended high dose steroids. So I go, he gives me some time to think about, options. He tells me what my options are, and I opt for the core decompression. I come back, I get scheduled for core decompression in January. And I believe that's when I posted my last video about AVN, was in January. And here we are in May. I got the call yesterday on May 20th that I am having my surgery on June 8th. So I will try my best to document the recovery process, because everything I'm looking at online, I can't find anything. I mean, I can find a few forums, but the forums are pretty much from back in the day, like 2015, 16, 17, nothing updated, nothing with new methods they may use. And as far as recovery time, I'm reading a lot of different things, whereas they're saying like the recovery time is, I seen one that says 6 to 12 months for a complete recovery. I'm seeing things that say, you can walk after 6 weeks. I'm seeing things that say no weight bearing for 3 to 6 months. So I really don't know what the recovery time is. I have my pre-op appointment on May 26th, and I'll probably make another video stating what I was told in the pre-op. Stay tuned. Hopefully this recovery journey goes great, and just stay tuned for more. Thank you. And always, don't forget, like, share, and subscribe, please. I would really appreciate it. I want to make sure that I document this journey, and I just want to make sure I'm not talking to myself. Thank you. Like, share, and subscribe.